Yes, people. What's going on? Tiga Talks About. We're back again with another video. Today's the panel show, as always. We have a very interesting show for you guys, to say the least. Arsenal drew at home versus Manchester City. Liverpool do it again. They win again versus Everton. Manchester United actually beat Chelsea in what was a very crazy game, to say the least. And the Premier League weekend went as follows. You had Tottenham draw to Brighton, as I told you guys on the stream. Some of you guys were like, "Nah, Tottenham are gonna beat Brighton." They end up drawing, and what else happened? Una Emery's still a fraud. His team scored a goal though, at least. Got another draw there. What else is there? You know what? People don't really care about all that. The main reason why you guys are here is to laugh about Arsenal dropping points, Liverpool going 5 points clear, and the rest of the boys are going to be joining us in a second. But yeah, let's start with Rack in the building. Rack, how you doing, man? You're all smiles, I can tell.
I'm good, man. I'm good. Look, we all know why we're here. We all know why we're here. And as I said to you off stream, the problem is you may be critical of Arteta today, right? But you are Arteta's representative amongst the Arsenal fan base. Whether you like it or not, that's the position that you've kind of assumed, at least in this sphere, in our sphere of YouTube. And unfortunately, most people can't speak to Arteta directly, and therefore they go for you. And yeah,
Listen,
them's the breaks.
I'm not Arteta, but one thing we will do is, while we're waiting for the rest of the panel, let's start with the Merseyside derby, as there's a little bit of controversy from the derby. There's some people bigging up.
Is it the extra time?
Yeah, there's some people bigging up Ryan Gravenberch to the point where they're saying he's Liverpool's best midfielder. He's the best midfielder in the league. He's amongst the best in the world. La. So we got to talk about Ryan Gravenberch, and also just Florian Wirtz not starting, and people saying that was like a little bit there. What was it? Some people were saying, "Oh, he's not starting because he's not ready to play these kind of games." Another person saying it's just rotation, and then other people are saying he's just not found a role in the team yet. So I mean, we got to talk about Ryan Gravenberch. We got to talk about the game, and I think Ryan Gravenberch is basically the entire Liverpool attack for that game. He started it off with the beautiful goal from the pass from Mo Salah, and then set up Ekitike. Ekitike, by the way, could he shift Isak to the left with his great performances as a striker? Could he shift him out to the left instead of him being shifted out to the left? Could Isak be the one that shifted out to the left? We don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, let's start with Ryan Gravenberch. What do you think? Do you think people's shouts about Ryan Gravenberch being one of the best midfielders in the world is fair? And do you think he's Liverpool's best midfielder? Because I always thought McAllister was Liverpool's best midfielder.
Look, both of them have got quite unique talents. I think Gravenberch is a runner. He can take players on with the ball from a deep position, and that's an important weapon in today's football. You see it quite often, him picking up the ball deep and going past players. Maybe a little bit a la Yaya Toure, that kind of vibe. But then he's also able to spin and turn people when there's not much space, and when people have tried to get tight to him, he's managed to wriggle his way out. Maybe like a Paul Pogba or something like that, Fran Pogba. I think he had a very good game yesterday. Look, when you're arguing, I don't see him specifically as a defensive midfielder, but someone kind of who occupies that position in some instances, for him to get a goal and assist, aside from all the other stuff that he did, it's a very good performance, exceptional performance. I think last season he was very, very good. I think he was exceptional last season. Having said that, towards the end of the season, and maybe not the second half of the season, but the last third of the season, I don't think he was as good. People were being a little bit more wary of him, of his turns, and the fact the opportunities that they provide and the weapon they provide, and that became a lot less frequent. So I'm going to try and be balanced. He's still very young. 23, I think, 22, 23. So I hope there's a lot more improvement to come. But he's been very good. Look, Simon Evans said Ryan Gravenberch is the best midfielder in the Prem at the minute. I think everybody's entitled to their opinion. I think he's up there. There are other good midfielders as well, but
To be fair, 2 years ago, Raphael van der Vaart was saying that Ryan Gravenberch is better than Jude Bellingham at everything when he was at Ajax.
I mean, yeah, you know what? The thing is, you can be better on paper. You have to prove it on the pitch. For the first season that Gravenberch was at Liverpool, he barely played, right? And the season prior to that, he barely played at Bayern Munich. So I can understand why some people were maybe a little bit wary of us buying him after the spell at Bayern Munich. But Slots, this is the thing, right? You need a manager who trusts in you, the manager who can get the best out of you. And Slots come along and he's utilised him in a different way than Klopp was potentially looking to utilise him. Maybe Klopp thought that Klopp thought he wasn't ready as well. So, but Slot definitely deserves credit. But the biggest credit has to go to Gravenberch. Ultimately, you have to step up. You get the instructions, but it's all about you implementing those instructions on the pitch in arguably the hardest league in the world. And Jude Bellingham this and Jude Bellingham that. I don't really care. I don't care. As long as he's doing the business for Liverpool, that's the most important thing. And he's definitely doing the business. But look, imagine we've got him on top form, and we've got McAllister on top form, and we've got Szoboszlai on top form, and Wirtz, when Wirtz eventually acclimatizes, we have him on top form. Like, that's a formidable midfield quartet. Yeah.
And to be fair, Szoboszlai has been your best player to start the season, and Ryan Gravenberch stepped up in that game. But I thought Szoboszlai has been your best player playing at right back.
The best player for Liverpool, in my opinion, has been Virgil van Dijk. But Szoboszlai has come in key games, especially against Arsenal.
A month, for example, like he was maybe not best player,
but these are all down to your personal preference. But Szoboszlai has been great. It's not easy to be shifted around. Remember, we played last season with a 10, and then all of a sudden he's shifting and playing central midfield and playing right back. For someone who doesn't throw his toys out of the plan, get knuckles down and delivers good performance after good, despite the fact he's been moved around, I have nothing but respect for him. And he's been key to our performance this season as well. So I'm very happy. As a Liverpool fan, I can't be anything other than happy. And yeah, it is what it is.
So would you say he's your best midfielder right now? Yes.
Who? Gravenberch?
Yeah.
I mean, it's been such a short part of the season, right? He's come off the back of two. But I'm not saying he's the best in the world. I don't.
No, but people are saying best in the world shouts. That's the main point.
Sure.
So do you think he is amongst them?
The Premier League is the best league in the world, and we are top of the Premier League. And he has had some exceptional performances. So putting those three things together, you would say so. I want to see more from him before I start mentioning him in the breadth of the best players in the world in any position. Because, but can he get there? Absolutely. And I'm not saying this to diss Gravenberch. I'm just saying give the kid time. I don't want to put too much pressure on him. His performance, especially against Atletico and yesterday against Everton, were fantastic. But I want to see more, and I want to see more, and I hope he delivers. Nothing would make me happier than if he delivers.
All right, let's get to the second point. Did you feel like, what was it, 3 minutes was enough time, extra time for the Liverpool-Everton game at the end?
Okay, so the referee, I think he blew the whistle on it when it was like 3 minutes 40, 45 or something, right? So if we're going to talk about detail, I see Vader. The problem with Vader, he hasn't his sandbox thing hasn't. He's still loading up. So right now, if I was speaking, he'd be pushing the boing boing or whatever he does. Right? I can see him smiling. I see him smiling.
Oh, but did you think that was adequate time?
I know. Look at him. It's loading up. Look, he's got his arm. He's got his fingers ready. He's got 3 minutes 45 was played or something like that. Now, the rule is a minimum of 3 minutes, and he played more than 3 minutes, right? So that's fine. Was that incorrect? Someone fact check me. I'm willing to be proven wrong live on stream. But he played 3 minutes 45, so he played more than 3 minutes. It's ironic because when Liverpool are winning, people want more injury time. When Liverpool are drawing, then they want less injury time. What you should do is look at each game on its merits. And if you look at each game on its merits, yesterday's game against Everton, how many subs were there in the second half?
How many subs were there?
Yeah, how many subs were there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
No, there were 3.
Subs. There were
3 in the
subs.
second. In the second half.
Yeah, there was 3 for Liverpool, 3 for Everton.
Okay, my understanding. Okay, but were they all? Okay, my understanding was there were 3 subs or 3 pauses for stops for substitutions. Each one is equivalent for 30 seconds.
Yeah, and there was also yellow card incidents. There was also a goal.
Okay, so that's a few extra seconds. How much? So someone tell me what the extra time should have been.
It should have been maybe 6 to 7 max.
Do you think there were 7 in the Arsenal game today? Do you think there was more stoppages in the second half between?
I thought 7 was short. To be fair, I thought it should have been 11 today. That's just me. But I don't have a stopwatch. I'm not calculating how long it took.
Okay. So then the next question is: does anyone think there's a conspiracy or the referees are being dishonest?
No, people are kind of shocked that the Manchester United game and Chelsea game.
But it's not about being shocked though. It's about being correct. It's about being correct.
Their game had, what do you call it? A couple yellow cards, 1 goal, and I think there was 4 moments where they subbed in players. Right in that time, they've deemed it that 7 minutes added time was necessary. There was less, or I felt like there was less pauses in that game in that second half where they're both down to 10 men than there was in the Merseyside derby.
So if that then basically what you're saying is the referees are corrupt and are favouring Liverpool, right?
I think I don't know how they calculated that 3 minutes. To me, it's just kind of shady that if the game was 0-0 or if it was 1-1 and it was tight, would it still have been the same 3 minutes, or would they have stretched it to 6? I don't know. But that is the shortest. That is the shortest amount of time. The shortest amount of time that we usually see for a game is around 3 minutes.
It's happened already. It's happened 3 times this season. It's already happened 3 times this season.
Yeah,
before.
The average for the Premier League this season is usually anywhere between 6 to 7. On average minutes, and people are just saying it's kind of interesting. I'm not sitting here saying it's
interesting. Oh, it's interesting. Okay, sure. Someone do a study.
I'm not sitting here saying it's a conspiracy
break it down.
I'm not sitting here saying it's a conspiracy theory. But if Liverpool were drawing that game, would it have been 3 minutes? I don't know.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Okay.
Rax can confidently say that too. Like, I think he would have been surprised to have only seen 3 minutes.
And Jack Grealish called it out.
Well,
I mean,
Jack Grealish is a winner.
The ultimate authority. Yeah, the ultimate authority on playing additional minutes.
Even the Everton manager
is Jack Grealish.
Who? Even the Everton manager.
The man with no vested interest whatsoever. Oh no, he does have a vested interest. Okay, fine.
So wait. Are you sitting here, Rax, and you're not surprised? You're not surprised by the minutes that were put on that for?
Listen, I'm not there with a stopwatch. I don't.
No, that's not my question. That's not my question. Were you not surprised by the little amount of minutes added on?
No, because without knowing what should be the correct number of minutes, it's very. How can I be surprised if I don't know? You can only be surprised. So if I was sitting there with a stopwatch and I was counting and I counted them up and I said 7 minutes and then I saw 3 minutes, then I would be surprised. Absolutely.
Rex, that's not the point. In previous games, closing out at extra time. Have you seen the number in terms of extra time in previous games and been surprised by it?
So the 3 minutes injury time has already been played 3 times a season. Okay, 3 times a season, and what's this?
Liverpool at 90 minutes this season versus Bournemouth, 6 minutes at a time. 2-2, 11 minutes at a time. 1-0, 8 minutes, of course, and then 0-0 versus Burnley. You have 5 minutes at a time. And then this game, we're up.
So 1 minute. No, 1 minute. So it was 3-2 against Bournemouth, right? And it finished 4-2. So at 3-2, They added 6 minutes when we were already winning. But if we're taking,
they already accumulated that 6
yeah, okay, but 1 minute. If that was the case, then really that should have been 3 minutes because we were already winning. I mean, why are they adding 6 minutes on when Liverpool are winning?
Scored in the 88th minute. They calculated that time before then.
No, they wouldn't have calculated. They calculate it when it comes to the end of the 90 minutes. That's why they put the board up.
Rax,
but you scored 2 minutes left before 90.
Rax, you're a clever man. You know, in that Bournemouth game, that game came extremely late, nearly the 90th minute. So don't use that one as the example. If you want to turn a blind eye and act like the times that have been put onto the clock have not been favorable in Liverpool's way, that's on to you. I'm told all the time, just own it. Just own it. If your club gets this advantage, just own it.
Hold on, but I've just come in late, so I might miss that the pretext.
We already spoke about Ryan Gravenberch being great.
There is no pretext.
Hold on, what I'm saying in terms of like when I've watched Liverpool's games, when it's got to injury time, I've not been like, oh my god, I can't believe they're getting that much injury time when I'm watching the games. Like I'm not saying
they got 3 minutes after the Merseyside derby.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, in that game, right? You might look at it and it's like when you play a team like Everton, or it's always very hypocritical because Everton take a lot of time setting stuff up, doing stuff, things like that. But if they're losing and stuff like that, let's get the ball. Like Arsenal today, complaining about City's time wasting. Arsenal time. You know what the funniest thing was? That I noticed, and this is so we'll circle back, but say Arsenal take a long time to set up a corner. They take their time to set it up in the right way for them to maximize it. They take 30 seconds, 40 seconds to take a corner. So how can a team that takes 40 seconds to set up a corner complain about another team taking too long to take a goal kick?
Jay, that's a great point. But this London turf war, you should have held that point for a little bit longer.
I know. I'm sorry.
Liverpool.
I'm sorry.
We were on Liverpool, and now now we got to go.
Sorry. So just on Liverpool, just on that time, Liverpool have been. I would say that against Everton, they probably could have had a couple of extra minutes. I don't know whether you'll look at that as saying bias or this or that, or it's just the refs didn't add on time properly or this or that. Do you know what I mean? It's like I'm not gonna. I don't feel like Liverpool were like. Go on.
I said I was here to be fact checked. I just fact checked to go. There were 6 substitutions, but there were only 3 stoppages, 4 substitutions. So 30 seconds each. So 1 minute 30. And we played 3 minutes 45. So I don't know.
What about the goal?
What about it?
I mean,
doesn't the goal have time also? Shouldn't it at least
I don't know if they stop the clock for those. Do they stop the clock for goals?
Yeah,
they should probably add some time on.
Don't worry, there'll be more examples in the future. Let Rax have this.
Long story short, Liverpool win their game 2-1, and Everton were applying pressure. They gave them 3 minutes. It is what it is. We spoke about Ryan Gravenberch.
3 minutes 45 seconds. Stop saying 3 minutes. Minimum of 3 minutes.
Is there a point of talking about Wirtz? We've already spoken about Wirtz last week.
If you want to.
No, their own play. The Liverpool fan base are admitting that he's not playing well. We don't need.
I mean, I think the thing with Liverpool now, I feel like if you're a fair fan, if you're a fair Liverpool fan, and when you're watching Grealish, you critiqued him from he contributes to their overall success and he plays in a certain different way. As long as you are fair and you're not hypocritical now. For me, obviously, I thought Wirtz would be doing more. I think I said a few weeks ago, like, it makes sense to revert to the midfield that won the league last season at times because it was the midfield that won the league last season. Do you know what I mean? It's hard to improve on perfect, essentially, which is what the midfield was. So I feel like when I'm watching him now, like, there's a rhythm thing. Like, he's obviously the intensity's higher. Like, those are chants. And I remember thinking, if Jota's here, Jota would absolutely, the one where he chopped back?
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, this ain't the Bundesliga. You're going to have to do that half the speed, like half the time you took to do that chop, yeah? You're going to have to do it quicker. So I feel like from a pace point of view, once he speeds up, he'll be better. But Premier League's a first impression league. I remember Juan Sebastian Veron players like that, players that were excellent players in other countries come to the Premier League, and there's just a difference in rhythm, a difference in intensity, and sometimes you never get that rhythm. I remember Donny van der Beek when he first came here, and he was, the season before he was meant to go to Real Madrid, and he didn't because of COVID, and obviously he goes to United and it doesn't work, So I feel like I spoke very highly about Wirtz. He's German Bundesliga Player of the Year previously, like big expectations, and I feel like he's struggling a little bit. I'd say struggling. I wouldn't even say he's been a disaster. I just think he's struggling to live up to the hype a little bit at the moment. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's one of those where it's like, have I kept the receipt? Like, do you know what I mean? It's not like, It's not like I want a refund, but it's like, where's the receipt? Like, as in, like, I just like,
just in case. Just in case.
I don't think it.
Yeah. 1 minute. How many days left until the 28 days is up?
Exactly.
No,
it's like
you're on mute.
Like you're on like 18 days. You're like, you
Sure,
still got another 10 days.
Jay,
and you're like, okay.
Do the northern media protect each other? Because I'm confused.
Yes, the Manchester Evening News love to protect Florian Wirtz, most expensive player in English football. I'm sure the MEN would be.
Evening News come out with the article stating Florian Wirtz just needs to find his position.
Well, I feel like, but the thing is like, if we're nitpicking here, we should also give the praise. Liverpool coming into the season as champions, 5 out of 5. We're saying they're not playing amazing. Doesn't matter. All the teams will bend the knee and hand them the points anyway. It was like,
with extra time.
You know what I mean? Like, so we can say, all the teams are bending the knee. Everyone's giving the points to them. 15 out of 15. I'd love to say I'm not playing at my best whilst assimilating 6 new players, whilst being top of the league, defending the title you won last season. Like, it doesn't get any better than that. Do you know what I mean? We're nitpicking about Wirtz because we're looking for little things. Oh, well, Salah took a shot and it became an assist. Oh, how fucking terrible. What terrible thing to have miss-hit shots become assists.
As long as they're top of the league, no one cares.
Exactly.
The thing is, people still, but people still nitpick. I can see there's LFC 1225 saying Wirtz has been awful. I think he's been underwhelming to some degree. I don't think he's been awful. I think there's been moments. No, he wasn't awful against Atletico. Did you see against Atletico? He was very good. And he was linking play.
They surrendered possession, and he wasn't even impressed.
Sure, okay, but that's a different story. The point is, I don't have any doubts at this stage that Wirtz is going to make it. He was the best player in the Bundesliga. You can see when he
in the present he hasn't been.
And so that will also buy him a fair amount of time. And whilst we keep winning, again, that will buy him a fair amount of time. Because as Jay said, when you're trying to assimilate all these players into a team that has already won, if you start dropping points, people will be on you. In the same way that people are on Arsenal, you don't think after Liverpool has spent as much money they spent, people have got they've got their claws out ready to pounce. Of course they do. If you say that's not true, then I'm sorry, you're delusional, because people are out for Liverpool, but they haven't got any ammunition because we keep winning.
No, there's
the only thing I would say is, and this is because I like you, I'm not going to say it in a sinister way, but like the logic would dictate that in a number of these last-minute winners and stuff like that, Wirtz tends to not be on the pitch. Like, do you know what I mean? So my thing is like, there's something to go when Liverpool want to go full throttle, or need to go full throttle. The guy who's not up to speed with the intensity, he's the one that needs to drop out. Makes sense.
I think that's fair. I don't
think it's a super criticism. And like I say, I think one of my problems with Liverpool this season has been I've not praised them enough, because it's almost like when you take the City mantle where we're normalizing the winning every week. You're starting to normalize it a little bit, and you get less praise. Sorry, Veta, and I know Veta.
Poor phrasing, but I'll let you go with it.
We'll discuss your haram ball that you played today.
Yeah, we'll discuss that later. But poor phrasing in terms of the mantle. Go ahead.
Liverpool, like we should like they have. Even if you look at the games, right, 4 out of the 5 games they've been the better side. By how much they've been the better side, debatable. But they've been the better side. Just Newcastle, just Newcastle game where they were lucky to get out of that game, you know. And you could make the argument Newcastle threw absolutely everything at them, yeah, and they still left with the points.
That was a Newcastle with no. That was a Newcastle down to 10 men. That was a Newcastle with no Isak. You know what I mean? It wasn't.
That was a Newcastle also that was the most motivated Newcastle, despite adversity. We won't have a tougher game this season than Newcastle away. They felt personally disrespected. Listen, we went to their house, we took their girl, and then we drove past two weeks later, and we waved goodbye.
You see all right, guys, let's take a break. Do me a favor. Hit that like button while you guys are at it. We're gonna keep the show going. But before
we didn't wave goodbye, we came together to pick up her toothbrush and towel.
Before we go any further, I just wanted to point out that there is a channel sponsor. If you guys can look right down there somewhere, OK jerseys. There's a link in the description. You guys can actually get 8% off any jersey, and they do have replica jerseys for all the national teams also. So get yourself sorted for the upcoming World Cup. That's a good way to do it. But yeah, I'm gonna put the link in the description and I'm gonna pin it. If you guys can check it out, use the code EGAL, you get a discount. I'm getting you guys discounts now. This is next level. Anyways, let's continue. Let's go to the actual Arsenal game. And by the way, Ahmed has lost to Manchester United, so he's not allowed to show his face today for some reason.
That is not true. That's not true because as I've had to do before, I'm literally on my computer right now that I always use. It's just that my camera
Ahmed, you know I'm messing with you.
broken. Yeah, sorry, right. All right.
You broke your camera with the loss.
No, is this? I think it's just the USB connection is that kind of cooked.
Ahmed, aggression is not the answer. Ahmed, aggression is not the answer.
You not use your webcam from?
Yeah, but webcam is connected by USB. That's how it works for me.
Okay, so there's not a built-in webcam.
Wow, no. I have a PC.
The idiot's guide to streaming live and direct.
Yeah. Yes, it's a PC. I have a PC.
Hey, mine. What? Anyways. Some people are idiots. You know what? Lunar second, you can fuck yourself off too. Anyways, Let's continue. Let's talk about Arsenal. And you know something? I said this, and people are going to get mad. We did not play well, and we gained a point. It's not 2 points dropped because at the end of the day, City were what do you call it, ahead, and we had to fight back just to get the draw. So come the end of the game, it was 1 point gain. Going into the game, we should have gained all 3 points. At the end of the day, Mikel Arteta messed up the lineup. We played terrible, and it was down to the lineup that we played. In the second half, if we had that performance from the beginning, maybe we win the game. In my opinion, we should have probably lost this game if City had anything about them at the end. We would have probably lost the game. And the guys got something out of it. So we move on. I'm not happy. I'm disappointed in the result. I'm disappointed in the overall performance. But in the grand scheme of how Man City played compared to us, we gained a point out of a result where we could have lost all 3.
When did City score?
City scored early in the game.
9 minutes.
9 minutes.
Okay, so how many minutes did we play in this game?
90, 96?
97.
Okay, so essentially you had nearly a full match after City scored, yeah, to take on a team that is not in amazing form, yeah. No. A team that had played, I think, 3 games in a week with the same lineup, and that lineup, some of those players are a little older. So I think from a City point of view, they couldn't go full throttle at you, yeah. I think game state suited you. You had Ranieri on the bench. You started you didn't start Eze. Saka wasn't maybe fit enough to start. Me personally, I can't look at this as a point gain for Arsenal. You started the game 6 points behind Liverpool. You're at home. You're expected to win. Going into this game, you've won. You played United away, wasn't convincing, but got the W. Everyone will give you a pass. You lost to Liverpool away, where people argued that you weren't brave enough in the game. So coming into this game, people had a couple of question marks, not huge question marks, but a couple. And you go into this game and you weren't brave with your selection. And that's what cost the game, essentially. And
all right.
Hold on. Because in the second half, when you played that style and everything, Arsenal, City were pinned. They couldn't get out. Found it very tough. Would City have done that breakaway goal in the first half if you'd had the same team that you had in the second half? We don't know. You could have scored in 3 minutes. City could have been blown away.
I just feel like people are completely misunderstanding my point. We're at home. We're supposed to win the game. In the grand scheme of everything, that's obviously 2 points dropped. I'm saying in the run of the game, the fact that we were chasing it and it took us a last-minute goal, we salvaged the point. It's not
salvaged. They meant in the chat said it right.
Obviously, I'm not sitting here saying, yes, we got a point. I'm happy. Fuck off if you think that. I'm not an idiot. I'm just saying we salvaged the goddamn point. At the end of the day, you could not sit here and say we lost 2 points because we did not start off well. City came to our ground, they gained a point, and from my perspective, we're lucky to gain a point.
Did you go when the game before the game? Did you think you were winning this game?
110%.
Okay, so therefore you got 2 points.
1 second.
As simple as that.
What are you asking? if you're saying my mentality going into the game
target neutralized.
Are you saying my mentality going into the game dictates what happens, or what actually happens?
I'm saying that you went into this game saying we are going to beat City. We are a better team than City. City have a few players missing too. We're going to do these guys. Calm. I've seen City this season. You've critiqued City heavily about how they defend, about how they do this, how they do that. So going into this game, hold on, how can you come out of this game and say it's a point game? Regardless of game state,
we salvaged the point.
Outstanding.
Game you thought you were going to... If I play Burnley, and Burnley are 2-0 up with 10 minutes to go, and I draw 2-2, okay, I'm happy I didn't lose the game, but I don't expect to draw 2-2 with Burnley. So that's the point. I can't retrospectively be happy about a point that I thought was going to be 3.
1 second. Nobody's happy. If you're basing this off happiness, it's obviously 2 points lost. I'm simply saying, coming into the game, we obviously were expected to win. I'm disappointed with the result. I'm disappointed with the overall performance, and I'm disappointed with the lineup. That's straightforward. I'm not even going to sit here belittle what City did. City came to our ground, treated us with a lot of respect, and I felt like we came into the game treating them with a whole lot of respect, and we did not respect ourselves to put ourselves in the best position to go and win. Mikel Arteta noticed that at halftime he needed to make a change. He made the change. He brought in Eze. Saka came on for Madueke due to injury, I think, and then of course we went on to have more possession, more control, but we couldn't get the breakthrough till the end. And based on how the game went, you could say, you know what, we're lucky to salvage a point. And I agree with you guys. It is 2 points dropped, but my whole reason I'm saying we saved the point. We saved the goddamn point. We got something from the game. I'm not sitting here saying my wording is key because you guys word things differently in the UK. You treat things differently. If you want, based on what you're saying, you're right. It is 2 points dropped, but we salvaged the point. And I'm taking that and I'm saying, you know what? Thank God we got something from this game. Because if we would have lost, it would have been 10 times worse.
No, salvage the point is the right way to put it. But you said a point gained. There's a different thing. It's different. The difference between a point gained than salvage the point.
It's not a point gained.
We wouldn't be having this conversation if you said we salvaged the point to start off with.
All right.
No, I feel like with Gal, you're trying to do. Gal, you're trying to do the glass half full.
We got you to correct yourself.
Bro, there's no 1 second. A draw at home at City right now is not going to help us in the grand scheme of things because Liverpool are just getting further away. So there's no real glass half full. I'm just simply stating, thank God we didn't lose the game and Martinelli and
Let's talk about the game. What happened?
The game is spoken about in two halves. First half, we're shit. Second half, we tried to do something. Eventually, we got a goal. We were still shit in both halves, to be fair.
But yeah, even in the second half, when there was more attacking intent, it was still a hard watch. Like, and
it was also due to how Man City were playing.
True. I think when you have a lot of men behind the ball, then it becomes more difficult. But I didn't really see, like, did you test the keeper really? I don't remember many significant chances, or there were times. Okay, their starting positions were in their final in your final third, or your attacking final third.
Pep Guardiola had the lowest possession,
but they seem pretty comfortable. Like in general, they seem pretty comfortable.
No, don't do that.
Yeah,
Pep Guardiola had the lowest possession.
City were comfortable. City like battered left, right, and centre, and
Pep. This is the most defending a Pep Guardiola team did in their entire history of him being a manager.
But it depends how you define it. It depends how you define defending. Maybe they had less possession. Yes, their starting positions with and without the ball were arguably deeper. But that doesn't mean that you ripped them open and created chance after chance, or opening after opening, or even shot after shot.
Donnarumma made two ridiculous saves. The one with Madueke and the one from Eze.
But okay, that's two saves. But don't go around throwing around defensive, because you're gonna need a lot more numbers. You're gonna have to really. Sorry, Jay. 1 second. Yeah,
the Madueke one was definitely ridiculous. Near post to hit it off the bar, hand onto the bar is ridiculous.
Onto the post in the first half, you mean?
Onto the post, yeah.
It wasn't ridiculous. I mean, it was a decent save. He went short side. Donnarumma did what he had to do. I think a lot of
goalkeepers would be disappointed if they let that in. It was a decent shot, a decent save.
The power on the shot was crazy, bro.
Okay, the power, yeah. I just want to correct something, because I know Egal and the Arsenal fans are going to start running with this. This wasn't the most defensive that we've seen from City, because you're going to have to look at different numbers to really.
Based on possession.
Okay, if you want to say that this was the least amount of possession that City have had
in his
ever.
career.
In his career. Yeah, okay, but don't talk about this is the most defensive, because defensive, you're going to have to see tackles, you're going to have to see blocks, you're going to have to see shots taken. If we surrender possession, but you didn't really take advantage and have the shots on us, then it wasn't really the most defensive we've done.
I think City had more control, because like Mourinho says, you can control the game with the ball, you control the game without the ball. It's very rare that you see Pep trying to control the game without the ball. But I think, in general, City were reasonably comfortable.
Yeah, if you want to call out, this is the most clearances that City had to do. This is the most block shots. This is the most shots on target. Then I would concede to this. But I think us surrendering possession was, again, something where Pep has adapted. And he's like, you know what? Of all the clubs that I'm really going to give that to, it's Arsenal, based off of definitely with how you guys have set up. Now, my manager took a chance based off of what he saw the previous games and ran with the idea.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
You made 61 clearances.
We made 61 clearances.
Okay, do you know how a clearance is defined?
Well, regardless, I don't know how many they normally make. I don't have a context for the figure.
Normally, they would make like 10 to 15.
10 to 15.
Yeah.
Normally, we make 10 to 15 clearances, and we made 61 clearances.
Egal, the thing is, did City defend in this game? Yes, of course. We all saw City defend. Did City cede the ball to Arsenal? Yeah, of course. But how many clear-cut chances did Arsenal create in the game? Yeah, like how many chances do you think?
Every time the ball went into their half, they kicked it away.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like, look at the Haaland chance, that he scored. That's a one-on-one. Do you know what I mean? That's a one-on-one, looking at the keeper, eyes on the keeper. I don't think you had that.
Do you know how abnormal 61 clearances is?
Okay,
no, because I don't know the context for how many clearances a normal amount is.
For example,
if you give me the
in the game versus Tottenham, they had
if you give me the Chelsea Bayern Munich final, where Chelsea won the game on penalties, Chelsea might have made 180 clearances. You know what I mean? I don't know what a lot of clearances.
Were you talking about the Eze shot? The Eze shot.
Eze was traded to keeper. The Madueke one is the main one.
Yeah. But you said two amazing. Yeah, come on, Igal.
I've just watched these two.
Yeah, don't fall for it. Listen, there's going to be there has to be what's the taking away point?
No,
what's the
emphasis? Said statistically, is there a stat that proves that we were super defensive? You making 61 clearances is definitely
a clearance. A clearance is just a boot downfield. A boot downfield can happen in so many different scenarios. No, okay, fine. You could say it's outside the norm.
If this is Everton, maybe.
No, okay. But the point is, all the clearance is just a boot upfield, right? It can take place from anywhere in your box, right? You could be the edge of your 18-yard box and boot it, right? That doesn't mean there's any danger there. Doesn't mean that we doing so saved a crazy thing or whatever. It could just be a boot downfield for Haaland to run into a blind alley and him not get there. This is why when you boil something down into one single number without any real context or whatever, it's just stupid.
Now, if Arsenal fans want to say that this is the most defensive that City have ever been, this is the most defensive that Pep has been in his career.
It's not Arsenal fans; it's a statistical fact.
No, I'm saying defensive. You're talking about lack of possession. I hear the lack of possession. I'm not taking the spin and hearing that it's the most defensive. That's all. But if Arsenal fans want to do that and claim that it's a fact when it's really conceding a possession, then go ahead with it. In this game, the manager clearly said, you know what? Let's see you break us down. But he didn't make that a choice until we really went a goal up and until it got really late in the game, because we were giving you guys the ball, but only because we weren't pressing where we would press the keeper or even press Saliba or Gabriel. We said we're gonna concede a little bit. We're gonna concede.
What happened when Arsenal scored the third the equalising goal? I also thought it was very curious that was a time when Mikel Arteta decided to bring on Mosquera, third centre back.
That's true.
That's
set pieces at the end, I guess.
I mean, what, to score or to defend?
Probably to defend, because you have to remember he brought off two midfielders and had Eze and Ethan in the midfield.
I'll say this real quick because we're going to be all over the place. Arsenal fans are criticizing Arteta for his first half starting 11. Now, if he got it right, if he played the starting 11 that you wanted in the second half and you guys still looked poor, what's the conversation here? Right? So you got the 11 you wanted in the second half, but they didn't really look much better. So it was a case of City aren't as terrible as many Arsenal fans expected going to your house and you guys dominating this game, because yes, we're poor to our standards. Poor to how you guys know us to be. But we're not the this is going to be an easy game for Arsenal. This is going to be a 3 points. So I'm go ahead.
No. I'm just saying, you guys have never played this way. Pep in his career never really plays this way. There is a level of respect that has been afforded to Arsenal that ended up trying to get a result in this fashion. And maybe he deemed this the only way he was going to get a result. You do have to say, you know what? He's the best manager in the league. Give him some credit also. As much as Arteta got it wrong, and everyone's criticizing Arteta and Arsenal, fairly so. Okay. Man City game plan for 94 minutes worked perfectly.
For 94 minutes, the game plan worked perfectly. I think the game plan could have even been executed at a better level, because the opportunities that I saw, and I got to go back and watch the game, but I felt the opportunities that we created to actually get that second goal, we should have delivered on it. In particular,
Haaland had the Haaland one, the breakaway, where he could have squared it to Doku, I think it was.
Doku.
Can I just say, Haaland's finish, just talking about the game specifically, Haaland, he gets a lot of criticism for his link-up play. I think the link-up play for the goal was exceptional. I think it's the kind of thing that he gets a lot of credit for, but I think he has improved over the last couple of years. And when he does it right, he deserves praise, because that was very good. I thought it was strange that Gabriel didn't chase him as hard as he should have. That was really weird because, in my opinion, Gabriel's the best defender at Arsenal.
I don't think he has that pace though, because I think it was one of those.
I always thought he did have pace, Gabriel. I don't see Gabriel as being significantly slower than Saliba, for example. I've seen them equal, but I just think Gabriel is a stronger, more aerially dominant defender. So that's why I don't know. Maybe I misread that. That and then Doku. Again, I've been critical of Doku in the past. I called him. Who's that guy who used to play for Spurs? That winger. He was really lightweight. I can't remember his name now. I called him like a bit of a budget version of him.
Who did he play for?
He used to play for Spurs. Oh man.
Well, Lucas Moura.
No. I think he's Welsh or English. Anyway. No, but old. It's like maybe.
Rax gets a lot of things wrong.
Dan James. Is it Dan James you're talking about?
No, Lennon. Yeah, I called him a budget Aaron Lennon.
Oh, you mean Aaron Lennon?
Yeah.
That's Aaron Lennon, man.
yeah.
But Lennon actually was good.
In recent games, I'm looking indifferent. And again today, there were several times, especially when he was in tight spaces, and he had to win a foul or get past the player or do what he needed to do, and he did very well. And you know what? If someone deserves credit, I'm going to give him credit. Both of those players did very well. I thought Rodri was good. I think Rodri was disciplined and
he was reading the game like I was accustomed. Like
and even what's his name, Diaz. He's got a lot of slack. Got a lot of been dissed a lot recently. Yeah, and
you know what? You're right. The only person I'm giving the ultimate credit though to is Donnarumma. I feel like he's given them so much more command of that box in set pieces, especially set pieces, because last year it was so easy for us at set pieces for City. Donnarumma made it so much more difficult, punching away all those balls, and also coming and commanding the box a lot better than their previous keepers.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that he was the one I'll give the most praise to, in particular with this game, because there's a few that deserve the shout. But when you know that a set piece is one of the key go-tos for Arsenal, he did take that out of rotation in terms of what you guys could really look to, because you guys still had some quality delivery.
Very good,
but and this is the one thing that I've criticized very quietly of my keepers and any keeper really. You are that much taller when you reach your height with a punch. Like why are you playing to not have full advantage that you're able to use your hands? And Donnarumma made some of those entries difficult to get on the head of whoever was attacking within the box. So we nullified the set piece for a little bit. I think had we had available players that we obviously acquired to assist with this weakened City, I think it's a different story, because when Arteta was able to sub on and want to go after the game, we really couldn't match that. Like we were only bringing on players that were to defend, and even my options was going to be a Savinho who still needs to find his form.
Why are you guys playing a high line at the end of the game? That didn't make sense.
It wasn't so much.
It wasn't so much.
Yeah, but at the same time, it was reading the moment. No. But again, we had possession, and I think I got to go back and watch it. But we lost possession pretty quick, and you guys turned on that one. So it wasn't a case where you guys had possession and we were playing the high line. I think we were building up together, and then we lost, and you guys reacted quickly. I got to go back and watch. I hate that Eze had time to actually pinpoint and deliver that pass. And I hate the fact that we didn't read it, especially that late in the game.
Long story short, this helps out Liverpool the most. And as an Arsenal fan, I'm disappointed in my team. I'm upset in the performance. But all I can do is just try to move forward and kick on against Newcastle. Like we can't do anything about the past.
Newcastle have an opportunity to do the funniest thing.
I want to say, and I want to make this comment real quick.
What?
It's just that
give Liverpool a 9-point lead.
No, I really feel like with Man City that give them credit. They came with a game plan. The game plan The game plan worked. Even if it's still a draw, I know you were 2 minutes away from like a win. Still have to give them credit. Great job on their side.
They only get credit because they have credit in the bank, right?
No, I think they get credit
because if Arsenal went to Etihad and did what they did, we didn't win, we'd get criticized.
I think the difference in this occasion is I think City came in as the underdog. That's the difference, right? If
we went to City as the underdog, and we still got this.
Yeah, but listen, I hate to say this to you, but you know, it's kind of on your fans sometimes as well. Like, you know, the way they do stuff as well. But I'm just talking about, obviously, I'm somewhat neutral, right? I'm not here to be biased right now, right? I think City came in underdogs. They executed their plan, right? Yes, it's still a draw, but I think obviously they're very close to getting a win. We have to give them credit on that side, right? Pep changed his game plan, played a transition football to actually get the best out of his team and do his job effectively. I think from an Arsenal perspective, I've always said this: the game plan you guys come into teams with is it wrong. I don't disagree with it. I actually respect Arteta, but his initial having that 3 centre mids and then four centre backs. It can work, right? I think, as I've always said before, with I think in this game in particular, the problem became the chance creation that was being created. I felt, particularly in the second half, I just didn't think was good enough. That was where I think what let you down, bro. Your quality, the quality of your chances was not that great, right? Yes, you just still scored. Yes, you salvaged the point. But I think my issue more so very, and I would like to see Arsenal fans would agree here, just that I felt like your quality of chances wasn't as good. That's all it came down to for me. It's just your quality of chances wasn't great, right? And I think, listen, you brought on Saka, in the second half you brought on Eze. You would like to think that is a great opportunity for you to, you know, improve upon the quality of chances that is being created. I don't know how Trossard still was able to stay on the pitch in that situation, because I felt like he should have been the one that was.
He got injured.
Fair enough. But I just think, for me, you know, the Martinelli sub is looking like a good super sub right now. You know, back-to-back games where he scored off the bench. Maybe, you know, we find a new home for him too.
What do you mean we find a new home for him?
You know, obviously he's not been good as a starter, but as a super sub.
Oh, okay.
That's what I mean.
I know Vader's gonna have to go. Vader, I'll be honest. Your team made it difficult. Fair play. You guys get a draw. I think majority of the criticism at Arsenal's side is really down to the game selection and the play from the first half. Second half, we played well, but we couldn't get the door knocked down. And the question is now, how does this affect the title race? Does it now mean City's taking more seriously? Does it mean Arsenal are not taking as serious, or does this just mean Liverpool runs away with it? Where do we go from here with the title race talk?
I'll be honest with you. I don't think much changes from a City standpoint. We're always going to make games difficult. We're going to have a say in terms of who kind of wins, but whether we're going to be a consistent threat, it's so early to say. And I'm not confident to say that because of the point gap that's happening right now and the fact that I don't think I have enough weapons. I'm gonna be honest with you. The lack of Shirky, the lack of Marmoush, I don't have that confidence to say, yeah, we can play week after week and keep this a title contention. But again, I think Arsenal gaining a point versus dropping a point, if Liverpool fans want to be like, haha, it's actually a good thing that Arsenal still continue to get points because you guys are the most serious to threaten Liverpool. Your depth, I think, is going to be a benefactor as the season goes on. And we do have AFCON that's going to affect Liverpool. And they do have certain positions that they're light in. So everything's great now. Every Liverpool fan should be like, this is bonus. All these wins should be bonus because things are going to come back to reality. They, on average, lose 2-3 games a season. And that's most likely going to happen. It's whether we can take advantage and get closer to them and not drop points. But Arsenal, listen, Arteta is the one that needs to change for you guys to have the success that you should be getting. You guys all took it. No one wanted to hear it. Everyone thought City fans were being salty. But there is a mentality for winning the league. And sometimes Rax was on mute. He wasn't really chiming in, but Rax knows. You have to go and get the league. You don't hold off and it falls in your lap. You have to go and take it. And right now, Arteta plays these games and has an approach towards these seasons to just it'll fall to us. We're not going to go out and be brave and get it. So until we see, pun intended, that light bulb go off for him, you guys will probably have a better chance at winning this league. But right now, you guys are too pragmatic.
Vela, I just want to say one thing about the press conference after the game. Right, a journalist turned to Arteta and he said, "Mikel, can you give us a bit of insight into why you chose that starting 11, especially the I can't remember the front three or the midfield three. I think it was the front three." And he said, "Oh yeah, there's too much to go into right now, so I can't do that." And that's just a very defensive. Automatically, that's a very defensive way of, like, if you have something to say about your selection, you should be able to justify it.
Yeah. I think, as I said before, I think with Arteta, I really do feel like this season he knows he's under the cosh more than ever. I think this season there's a real expectation, at least maybe on himself by the media and even the fans, that this is the season to get the job done. Even though I know Liverpool have brought especially well, I've got especially good players now, but that expectation, that pressure, he's feeling it. I know it's only 5 games into the season, but that's just that's the situation right now. And I do wonder again. You're facing Newcastle next. Newcastle not aren't this side that you can just walk past either. So
let me add to what Ahmed's saying, because going into this week, everyone was telling me I can't draw points versus United. I'm definitely going to be losing to Arsenal. That's how this league goes. Things happen really quick, and now you got Arsenal under pressure because they're about to go and play Newcastle. So I just want to, I keep saying this, I just want to be in arm's reach. If I can be in arm's reach and I see how this pressure affects affects the Liverpool being defending champs.
We have to go to Palace. We have to go to unbeaten Palace next weekend. That's not going to be easy.
But Rack, can we not acknowledge that Arsenal have had one of the hardest fixtures to start, and we've only lost to you and drawn to City. We've won the rest of our games.
Yeah, okay. But also the games you've won at home to Leeds, you would expect to win that quite comfortably, right? Which are the other games you've won? At home to Forest. Okay. Look, let's talk about away to Manchester United. Wasn't the best. You got the job done, but it wasn't the best performance. At home to Leeds, you would expect to win that pretty comfortably. And Forest this season haven't been good. They were good last season, but you've won that quite comfortably too. So yes, you've done what you've had to do, but I wouldn't necessarily say it's been an outstanding start to the season either. I think, same with Liverpool, we haven't had an outstanding start to the season in terms of performances, but we have been, fortunate or unfortunate, done enough to get the points on the board.
You've been fortunate.
I'm sitting here 15 out of 15 saying he hasn't had a good
Can I get a sound effect for that, Vela?
I'm working on it.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna move on to Chelsea now. But before we go any further, can you guys tell me if the scanner works on the QR code? Because I was trying it and it wasn't working for me. Can you guys try it? Just tell me if it works. And people in the chat, do me a favor, check it out. OK Jersey.
Yeah, OK Jersey. It works.
Oh, it comes up, right?
It's loading up, but it comes up. Yeah.
All right, guys, do me a favor. Try checking it out. It's a great site, and the affordable shirts too. So check it out, people. But before we go any further, do me a favor.
Do they ship worldwide?
Yeah, they ship everywhere, and they're also very affordable.
I'll take two
to help people out. But yeah, do me a favor, guys. Check out the link. The link is right here on the screen, and of course, you can also just click on the one that we have on in the thing. But right now, I want to know, Chelsea losing to Manchester United, does that tell you more about Chelsea or does it tell you more about Manchester United? What do you guys think?
It says a lot about Chelsea. It says so much about Chelsea. You know the phrase "fake it till you make it"? This is Chelsea. They won the Club World Cup. You win what's in front of you.
Yeah.
But to then take that on like they've arrived. Listen, they've been faking it. They've been faking it for so long. You can't lose to this United, man. You can't be real contenders. You can't be serious about being in the mix, losing to this United. So I don't know how the fans explain it. I don't know how Ahmed's gonna sit there and say, here are the reasons why. Here's what I can be confident looking forward in the team or my manager. I don't even know if he considers him his manager. I don't know. But this United team have the worst win percentage. We've all seen it. This manager is not able to win consecutive games. This manager is I think he was told you've got 3 games to turn your career around or to prove whether you should still remain here. I don't know how a serious team that wants to contend, a serious team that have kind of like gotten rid of all the things that were hindering them from the past to like kick on. I don't know how you lose to these guys. And I'm going to drop, unfortunately, but I will listen. I want to listen to what Ahmed has to say, because the one thing for sure, everybody in the chat, the one thing that happens post losses for Chelsea, they all gather. They have this huge, massive meeting where they all get on the same talking points and they know what to discuss and know what to break down. I'm really curious to what talking points Ahmed and the Chelsea fans have come up with, because this is unexplainable to me. I have no idea how they explain this loss and what this season is going to be. So listen, I'm glad it wasn't me. It could have been City losing to United, but it wasn't. It was Chelsea. I'm going to listen. Igal, thanks for having me on the show. Rax, Jay, Ahmed, yo, bless up, guys. Hit the like button, people, and subscribe if you haven't. I'll catch you guys next show.
Peace. The Cop Father, what a name. Anyways, Ahmed, take it away, man. Robert Sanchez, the defense. You lose again to Man United. You have the longest losing streak to Manchester United now. 13 years.
Really? What, at Old Trafford?
We just have a wonder. You have a wonder. Just got a lot of draws. Pretty much. I think you would have lost the next 4. We just have a wonder. That's the difference. It's that the thing about Old Trafford is that we either draw really, we draw a lot, right? It's either like a high stakes draw, or like we've had like 1 or 2 fractions, right? Just under Lampard, under them. That was pretty much the way it's been the whole time. But in terms of the game, I'll be honest with you. They initially in the first 5 minutes started a lot more brightly than us. They came off the blocks, did a really great job. I think the red card. The problem with the red card was it was like a twofold thing. Chalobah, one of his greatest weaknesses as a player is that he cannot track the ball in the air and then make a defensive header. Right, he loses out to his defensive header, and defensive headers quite pretty much 99% of the time. He does that in this case, and then I think the problem with Sanchez is that Sanchez initially doesn't commit. If you watch the video, he doesn't commit initially, but then he goes in. And obviously, he makes that error. Now, as a Chelsea fan, I would tell you Sanchez is always due for a moment of grandeur every 1 out of 4 games, isn't it? So this is his one game where that came home to roost, and that caused us the red card. And then obviously Maresca, he had another moment, another delusion of grandeur moment, because for some reason he just decided we just quit the match instead of just making the Jorgensen sub, in my personal opinion, which is more than enough. He then takes off Neto, right, and then obviously he re-aggravates Cole Palmer's groin injury, which apparently he's been dealing with continuously, obviously since the Club World Cup, right?
Wow.
Again, I do have to look at him there, in my personal opinion, a little bit and be like, if this is predominantly a current issue, why are we just not making sure he doesn't come back until he's fully fit? On that one, you have to question Maresca and be like, you're actually causing further harm to your star man. And then really after that, bro, our defenders, Tosin and Chalobah, are poor. There's no really anything else to say. We let United score those 2 goals. Luckily, we were given a lifeline when Casemiro got that second yellow for the red. But the manager did not make the necessary substitutions. Instead, he went for Gusto and Tariq George, which did not turn out to be correct or good enough. And in the second half, we didn't even try. We were very lackadaisical. So for me, simply, it's just a very, very bad loss. There's no other way to really put it. This is a bad and terrible loss.
I have one thing to say. Have you given up on Robert Sanchez?
There's no. I mean, I said this before, bro. I know what Robert Sanchez is. I already get. I don't want him as my keeper. But the problem is the club. The club is the one that's deciding to not pay 5 million extra when they had the opportunity to sign Mike Maignan. So,
and he had a bozo moment today. Yesterday, but actually this season he hasn't been that bad. Apart, I think maybe the first round of the Club World Cup, I think he made a mistake. But for the rest of the Club World Cup, he was okay. Like, he has the physical attributes. Sometimes he just has a moment of madness, as Ahmed said. So if they can, I can understand why they may have wanted to take a risk. I remember after the Champions League final when we had what was that German goalkeeper's name? Who kicked the ball to Benzema and Benzema scored basically. And what was his name? Anyway. So the club were willing to maybe give him another chance, right? Because that was obviously 2 catastrophic errors in the Champions League final. But then he came back, and in the pre-season, he made a couple of other errors. And at that point, the club acted. Karius. The club acted. They managed to find out that Alisson was potentially available. At the time, Chelsea were also chasing a goalkeeper. And I think that also kind of kicked it into gear a little bit. We were like, okay, we don't want Chelsea to get him. Let's go and get him. And what Chelsea were still trying to sort out the situation with Courtois. And in the end, we ended up getting Alisson, and Chelsea got Kepa because Alisson had already signed for us. So yeah, it's a difficult situation. He's the only person who left now, right? So he's going to have to either going to be him or Jorgensen.
Yeah, and again, I feel like I said this before. It's Tweedledee and Tweedledum. I don't really feel like there's much of a difference there. And my final point, just about the game in general, is that we can. I think there's this problem I continue to have at Chelsea, which is that last season, people I think thought after that Fulham game, the players have gotten the mentality, everything of that sort. The usual mumbo jumbo that you like to hear. But last season, and very much this season, there have been times where this team, whether you look at the Bayern game just this week, midweek, and today, where they just mentally, they're not able just to be consistent, bro. And a lot of that has to do with, yes, you've got a young squad, but then some of these guys themselves, right, that you think are the older statesmen, just get very angry like this quickly. No self-control, not being composed, right? And that actually, yesterday, Enzo Fernandez was just getting angry, trying to fight everyone. What message are we sending here to Santos, to everyone else, right? Kukurea at times was doing the same thing. All of these guys were losing their heads when they should have kept calm and actually just looked to continue to do their job, right? Because when we were back to 10 men, there's no need to be getting angry. Now it's about going out and going for it. And then I think
that second Neto sub, right? Like,
can you read the super chat while you're at it?
Give LSE league title now. Arsenal, Bottlers FC. I think it's a little bit premature. I don't know if Olakunle is Arsenal fan or
he's a Liverpool fan. Clearly,
he's a Liverpool fan. Okay, I don't know about that, but obviously it puts us in a very strong position. And if we win next week and Arsenal drop points to get to Newcastle, I think that will hit the squad hard, and I think they'll start doubting themselves when it's that stage. Anyway, but just back to Chelsea.
I think this is more about Maresca and how he handles those kind of situations, because his handling of the situation, I think you got a spot on. The substitutions, he was forced for one due to injury. Taking on all of those attackers basically leaves you with nothing in the case that you're trying to win the game. They couldn't win the game. No. And Manchester United
the Neto substitution I don't think should have happened. Oh, it's easy to say with hindsight. Maybe he was trying to restructure the whole team, and that's why he did it. But as Ahmed said, if there's a risk that there could be an issue with Cole Palmer, if he's not 100%, and this has been an ongoing issue, you are really up against it. And in the second half, United weren't. I mean, I think Chelsea were the dominant team without, creating too many chances. But if they had better players on the pitch, and Neto is a good player, then maybe it might have been different. And so, I think Maresca has to hold a certain degree of.
By the way, I'm worried about Palmer, because they said the injury is the same injury that Emil Smith Rowe had. and that injury is the groin injury because he's still growing, he's still getting taller. So Emil Smith Rowe had to have surgery, and he was out for over a year.
His thing is his issue is that it's a groin strain, so it's not third, it's not anything of the sort. He has to actually wait for his groin to actually not be unsore, essentially, for lack of a better term, right? And everything of the sort. The problem is they keep saying 2 to 3 weeks. He comes back 2 to 3 weeks, right, as of now, and then obviously he's now re-aggravated it again. So for me, it's just like take him out until we know for 100% there's no re-aggravation obviously going to take place for the most part. That's what I'm saying. I just think throwing him in here is not great either. That's what I would probably say about in regards to Palmer. My actual thing also is that I do think, it shows a defeatist mentality. This is just my opinion, when you go down to 10 men and you still do not feel you can beat Manchester United, if you have Pedro on the pitch. In my personal opinion, you should probably be keeping the team the way it is, and you should be believing in your players. The fact that the man didn't do that for me is again another sign of a bit of a defeatist mentality. Where I hope that Muscat doesn't do this again, because for me, I just feel like he just panicked in that moment, and that's not a good look on him.
Yeah, it's the same thing I'm saying to Z. Z in the chat is saying they were protecting the lead and stuff. I don't know. I get it, but it's just not always ideal.
Manchester United, by the way, you guys are still bad. Don't think this result helps you change your mindset of your club. You were down to 10 men and you still struggled to hold on to possession. But De Ligt showed me something I haven't seen from him before. De Ligt was looking like David Luiz. I don't know if he can do that more often, tuck it into midfield and come and help you with your creation. But he looked really good. But maybe it's just down to the fact that you had a numerical advantage. Casemiro, Bruno, midfield is not going to work majority of the time. But because Chelsea were down a man, you actually were able to control the game for once. But yeah. Igal, do you have an FPL channel for your channel? Yeah, I do have an FPL league. I'll put the link. I haven't shared it because there's already like 600 people in there. But I'll definitely send the link. Yeah, I've been running it for like 4 years. You accumulate a lot of people after a long time. But yeah, anybody else have anything to say about Man United? Because if we go to Ahmed quickly, Ahmed posted something and it went super viral. His whole fan base is against him. They're pissed because Ahmed, he's super negative. After the game, you know what he said? He said, embarrassing football, outplayed for majority of the game, especially the second half. Sanchez gifted us the win, Maresca's horrible substitutions, and we still look dead. Bruno's trash. Man of the match goes to Mazraoui or De Ligt. And yeah, he ended it off there. He had like a whole 4-minute rant. Went super viral.
I'll be honest with you. Does that even matter? I think they got the job done. That's what matters for them. You know what I mean? If Amarin did something that he needed, actually. Amarin was able to get the job done. Amarin was able to save his job for another short while. His team won. And listen, the players were playing for him.
You did the Premier League a service.
I don't know if we did the Premier League service because, we didn't do ourselves a service, did we?
No, you're right. You did it. Anyways, is Jay there?
I don't think so.
We spoke about Tottenham before the show ended last time, and Rak was there. Ahmed was saying, "Nah, they're gonna beat Brighton," and I'm like, "Nah, they could probably Brighton give them problems. They gave Man City problems." Little did I know we were gonna drop points to Man City, and Tottenham were also gonna drop points. Tottenham and Arsenal are both on 10 points this season.
Yeah, only goal difference, right?
Well, I'm gonna head out because I've got to head out, boys. But peace and blessings.
No, you know what? I think we're just gonna wrap it up. But is Jay there? Jay, we wanted to speak to you about your team, but you don't seem to be there. So, do you have anything to say on Tottenham?
Jay stopped in, but me, I watched part of the game, and when I saw they were 2-0, oh, there you go. When I saw it was 2-0 to Brighton, I thought that was game over for Brighton. But then Spurs showed they have got something about them, and they came back, and at least they got a draw. They gained the point, as a guy would say.
Yeah.
Hey, you heard Spurs. You had to come back, eh?
Yeah, no, I heard Spurs. Yeah, no, great comeback. Like Brighton obviously beat City this season. Cough. And they're a decent team, and I thought that's a game that Spurs would a lot of times in the last 12 months, 2 years, Spurs would have lost that game. Going 2-0 down. We weren't even playing that badly, to be fair. But that's gaining a point. We'll go into this.
Why is it gaining a point when you're expected to win?
We were taking the piss out of you because you said you gained a point against City. That's why.
And also, were we expected to win?
I meant salvage the point.
Yeah, going into that game, Brighton v Tottenham away. I think if you asked 5 football fans, I'm not sure 3 are saying Spurs are winning. So we'll take it. Positives, 10 points from 5 games. Good haul. We've had 3 away games: Brighton, West Ham, and City. So 7 points from those 3 games. That's a good haul. Richarlison, he's got 3 goals now. So I don't want to say I told you so because it's a little early, but he's got 3 goals. Same as your boy, isn't it? But who's counting? Who's counting? No, but all in all, yeah, good for Tottenham. We look a good team. I think we've got Wolves at home next week, so a good opportunity to put a bit of pressure on. But yeah, we look like we're definitely in the mix for that 5th place, and depending on how consistent City and Chelsea will be, then you never know. We can maybe knock on the 3rd and 4th, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm very content. Frank's done a lot of good work in a short space of time. He's got us everyone's already we finished 17th last season. Do you know what I mean? So it's we're already highly competent is the way I would put it. We still need a bit of seasoning offensively. We're not all that. We can be a bit not the most aesthetically pleasing on the eye, but in the main, we're quite difficult to beat. We've got good players. We've got a good manager. League Cup starts this week, so let's see what we can do in that competition too.
Bro, take it away. What are you saying? Do you have anything else to say?
Look, I mean, Brighton will beat a lot of teams and will take points at home against a lot of teams. They don't seem like they're as strong as they were last season, but they will still probably be. They're not. I don't think they're going to face relegation or anything like that. Brighton, they still play good football. They've got good players, to come back from 2-0 down away to Brighton, I think will be a bit of a confidence booster for Spurs and their fans. And with Chelsea looking a little bit iffy, Chelsea are one of those teams that look like they're capable of potentially beating anybody, but also potentially losing to anybody, as we've seen. So who knows? I think maybe that 3rd, 4th spot is up for grabs if Chelsea don't do their thing or something happens with City.
Yeah, I think as well, obviously having the Bournemouth game where we played particularly badly, and that was our worst performance of the season. We went 1-0 down. So if you look at the other games, we've not gone behind. Do you know what I mean? So going 2-0 down, and when you remember what happened against Bournemouth, you'll think, oh, okay, where's this Tottenham team at? And we came back, got the point. So I'm not worried about. I'm not too worried at the moment. The team's showing a good amount of, different matchups. We played Bournemouth, we played Brighton, we played City, West Ham, and Derby. So it's Burnley as well. So good mix of teams that we've played. Quite a strong.
I was gonna point this out though. Has nothing to do with Spurs. Sorry.
Sure.
Aston Villa.
Yeah, they've had a slow/poor start.
West Ham.
Damn, look at
Wolves.
Wolves. Wolves 5 losses in a row. I mean, I know they've had a couple of bad starts in recent seasons, but 5 losses in a row. West Ham properly down there as well. Shit. This could be a mad one, eh? Forest.
It's still early.
Right.
It's still early.
It's still early. One win can catapult you up the league for sure.
I expect Burnley and Leeds to be in and around the relegation, but Sunderland are staying clear.
Sunderland are doing all right, but I also think I feel like Sunderland have had quite easy games. They've not been easy, but they've
West Ham, Burnley, Brentford, Crystal Palace, Aston Villa. Yeah, you're right.
Do you know what I mean? I like, if you're a newly promoted team, that's the like you wouldn't like they've maximized their
Look
points.
at Wolves. They played Man City, Bournemouth, Everton, Newcastle, Leeds.
See, the Leeds one, that's the red flag one.
Yeah, that's
losing.
the one.
Was it 2-1 or 3-1?
To a newly promoted team, 3-1, I think it was.
No, but Aston Villa not winning a game is ridiculous. They played Newcastle, Brentford, Crystal Palace, Everton, and Sunderland.
Yeah, like again, Villa's an interesting one because obviously they've eventually had to play the PSR Piper in terms of like how much they were paying of their turnover, and a lot of people talk about the Premier League, PSR rules. No,
Yo, Joe, calm down, man. I said you're going to be in the conversation. I didn't say you're guaranteed going to get relegated.
No, so I'm just saying, like, it's you got to look at it. It's not PSR. It's more UEFA. Do you know what I mean? Like, because UEFA have rules as well. So when everyone keeps talking about the Prem and stuff, it always makes me so annoyed that they don't.
Joe's on my case.
I think UEFA's rule is like 70 or 75%. Yeah, Villa were on 90 last season, 90+%. So I think with Villa, they've also got the issue of I feel like I think
they have Champions League wages without Champions League money.
No, not even that, bro. It's director of football, Monchi. Like this, Monchi's one of these guys, and I remember watching him at Roma, and he absolutely fucked Roma up. Completely fucked Roma up. Like poor signings, like big wages. Anyway, comes to Villa, yeah. And I saw a lot of people praising Monchi 2 years ago. Yeah. They were praising him technically, I think, for Johan Lang's work, the guy at Spurs. Because if you actually look at the Villa team now, all of the new signings and everything, they're on the bench. All of the players signed in the last year, 2 years, they're on the bench. They're still relying a lot on players that they bought 3 years ago. So what does that tell you? It means their recent recruitment hasn't been good, right? So essentially, that's Monchi. That's Monchi's job at Villa, and they're still relying on players they bought a few years ago.
I feel like it's connected to Unai Emery. Unai Emery and Monchi are basically like working hand in hand.
100%. And this is where, and I think there's something to be said for Emery wants or is happy getting players, and then he gets the players and then doesn't think they're good enough. So there's clearly a disconnect, a little bit.
Could we finally see a season where all 3 promoted teams stay up?
I doubt
maybe, but I don't think so. I think one of the promoted teams will definitely go down. I feel Wolves.
Joe, in case you're still watching, hopefully it's Burnley.
I think Burnley.
I'd rather keep Leeds than Sunderland in the league.
I think Burnley. I think all 3 teams have a decent. I'd probably say that I would probably put Leeds as having the lowest chance. Yeah. Because I think Burnley have a good system. They've got. I'm not saying that Leeds don't have a good system and they don't press. I'm just saying that Burnley look like they can keep clean sheets. You know, that's quite a big thing. Not Leeds. You know, if Calvert-Lewin keeps banging, they could. Sunderland, good start. We'll see how they start playing against better teams. They've all got a good chance. I just think that, paper thin between the three of them. I feel like they've all got quite a similar chance. Maybe.
Who had a better window, Burnley or Leeds? Definitely Leeds, right?
No, Burnley picks up a few. I mean, Burnley have Walker, and one thing that I noticed about teams, and people need to understand this, is that when somebody drops down the league, it becomes like, oh, you're like a superhero. Do you know what I mean? Like, so you can have anything. It's like, look at Grealish at Everton, for example. Do you know what I mean? It's like, if you drop down a level in the league, you'll be an amazing player. Dubravka was a rotation goalie at Newcastle, but if he drops down to Burnley, now he's a really, really solid number one. Do you see what I mean? Because of the relative expectations of the player and team. So if, getting Walker and players like that, and Parker's, quite pragmatic manager, Burnley will be close. Like, I think.
Look at Shrewsbury Hall. Shrewsbury Hall leaves Chelsea. He goes into Everton. He's their main guy.
That's what I'm saying. Do you see what I mean? You drop down a level, and people, oh my God, look at Dewsbury Hall. No, he's more or less the same player he was at Chelsea, but the expectations are lower because he's playing for a lower side. So it's like you're looking at him from a different lens.
Our elitist mentality has us looking at things weird. Anyways, we're going to wrap it up here. We'll be back ahead of the game versus Newcastle and next week's craziness. Who's Man City play? Who do you play? Newcastle, right? No, Crystal Palace.
We play Palace away. It's been a tough game.
Ooh, tricky game.
You know what? It's just getting out of hand now. Hopefully Liverpool don't pick up any more.
Have you got Newcastle away, is it?
Yeah, because if we drop points to Newcastle and it becomes a 9-point lead this early in the season.
It can be eight makes them because you're on 5. It's a 5-point lead right now.
8. That's what I meant. That could be crazy, bro.
I feel like
this early in the season.
You feel like you've got a lot of firepower now, though. You've got I feel like Arsenal have a good
8 point. Just beat Port Vale with the second team, and go to Newcastle and beat them, and everything will be right. All the fans will be calm and happy again. It's literally
just always a tough game. I think obviously I think you are.
Let's save that for tomorrow or next week. I don't want to start myself out right now. By the way, I'm gonna have a whole week of people just bitching about Arteta's lineup for the rest of the week, and everyone bitching about Liverpool being 5 points ahead. People already taking it to the level where they're being hyperbolic and saying the league's over. It is what it is. We're gonna redirect this to Mo's channel, Judge Mo.
When in the chat, when you redirect to Mo, can you put in Mo's chat a point gained? Just put a point gained. Igal said a point gained.
No, we salvaged the point. We salvaged the point. Anyways,
point gained, people. Point gained.
Have a good day, guys. We're out of here.